Hello, Twin Flames. Welcome to my channel. Whether you're new or you're coming back, thank you for joining me on this eclipse occasion. It's a pretty special day, and today I thought that it'd be nice, first of all, to do a check-in on the energies as we do pretty much every day, but also to get a word of guidance for the twins from the angels, from the guides. And so today I've got my angelic guidance, angelic therapy. And that we will start with a card for each of the twins, because solar eclipse could be quite daunting and quite challenging experience emotionally, even if you don't feel it just yet. And I'm saying it because I'm recording this before the peak of the eclipse, but as the peak approaches, it might get intense. For that hour, couple of hours, you might really feel it. So let's just see. Let's get a card for Divine Feminines and then for Divine Masculines, and we'll proceed, or maybe two, and we'll proceed with the tarot reading. You have the God box. Oh, I love this one. Write any worries, concerns, or desires on a piece of paper that you put into a special container called the God box as a way of letting go and allowing the divine to help you. This is such a beautiful exercise. And speaking of which, apart from it being solar eclipse, this is new moon happening today, new moon in Aries. So definitely a great time for setting those intentions, building something new, committing to something new, especially if it pertains to your personal wishes, desires, aspirations. The other card for you, feminines, is Kacha Quartz. Ask Archangel Michael to clear any old attachments to fear that stem from past relationships, freeing you from destructive patterns. And you can do a fire ritual, since we are in the Aries energy. You can do a little ritual with burning those fears if you're putting them on a piece of paper. Oh, you know the drill. I'm like explaining it, and people who haven't done it will probably be like, what? Yeah, it's one of those where you put in a piece of paper, whatever that fear or the pattern is, and then you burn it. In the home environment, if you're inside, you can use like a bowl of water or something, so you can put your paper there, not to cause any fires, but use your own discernment. What do we have for the masculines? What's the advice today? Archangel Michael and your profoundly clairvoyant. Wow, so powerful, beautiful. Archangel Michael is the guardian of twin flames, so this is beautiful. You are working very closely with this powerful archangel who is protecting and guiding you through this situation. Yeah, and as we all know, or at least can guess, for masculines, a big part of this transformation, of this death and rebirth that's happening in this eclipse portal and through this eclipse today is going to be connected to their heart chakra, connected to their realization of their connection to their twin, and realization of things bigger and better than what they have had before, what they have experienced, right? And that, of course, has a lot to do with letting go of past pain and past trauma, but also has to do with being able to see the bigger picture, to dream big. You are profoundly clairvoyant. Trust what you see in your mind's eye, as well as with your physical sight, for your spiritual vision helps you with healing, teaching, and guidance. So also an opportunity to go deeper into your clairvoyant skills and gifts, divine masculines. All right, and with all that said, let's get into the tarot reading. I've got the Tarot of Mystical Moments today. Absolutely beautiful deck. Let's give it a few shuffles and let's get started. Cards keep jumping out, and it's not one of the spreads where I'm actually expecting them to jump, but if they do, well, what can you do? Five of Swords at the bottom of the deck. In this deck, to me, it's like a secret language. I also see this picture, this image, as of like two people who are, they're not really talking, but they do exchange signs, gestures that actually are talking about something. There's also like a piece of paper here in her hand, and to me it looks like a letter, like secret letters that people were exchanging back in the day. Yeah, definitely the kind of like we have special connection, special bonding kind of idea. The people, though, are looking in different directions here. So it may still be that although like they're kind of back to each other, they have that contact, they feel the connection, they still see differently, or they're focused on different things at the moment. Let's get some clarifiers. And here we have Nine of Swords. Yeah, there's something that causes anxiety outside of the connection. And it's almost like they feel like they need to slay the dragon first, whatever is happening in their life, and then they can come back to the connection and focus on it. Divine Feminines, you've got King of Cups clarified by the Hierophant. Yeah, so this is like, this is you actually reaching internally to your King of Cups, into your inner masculine, and seeing how it's almost like processing those stereotypes or patterns that we have about masculine versus feminine, and what, like, both the negative and the positive, but a lot of them elusive ones, and trying to understand what was actually imposed by society and what is true to heart, what is real, right? What is the beauty, like what is it all about? It's like this connection between the King of Cups is actually in its essence, it's the connection between the masculine and the feminine, because the King energy is the masculine, the Cups energy is the feminine. It's water, it's feminine energy, right? So this is this interesting blend of certain harmony that could be found through this collaboration, if you wish, through this powerful synergy of both masculine and feminine working together, not as opposed to each other, not trying to prove something to one another or to defend themselves or whatever it is, or it has been with our societal value, with the history that we've had so far through the centuries, right? So it's already in our DNA pretty much, right? But finding that compassion to the masculine, first of all, and also finding that harmony between masculine and feminine within. This is a big part of this eclipse, by the way, huge. For masculines, we have Three of Wands clarified by the Magician. Yeah, masculines are tapping into this new moon energy to set new intentions and reclaim their power to create what they're wishing for, what they feel is theirs, you know, like they, but this is not not in the ego mode. This is in the empowerment mode. Like, you know, I deserve happiness, I deserve abundance, I'm here for it, universe is abundant, there's enough for everyone. And it's going away from a pattern that I always get unlucky with this thing. So like, I don't know, my higher power doesn't like me very much, or whatever it is, right? Whatever has been replaying in their head with all the hardships that they faced. And let's face it, if we talk about, like, again, the societal patterns and archetypes, masculine are usually not as strong-willed, let's be honest, in facing hardship and taking it in a wise way, right? A lot of times it's like, oh my God, like, why is it like, it's fighting it, it's taking it on like a challenge, like somebody's attacking you, and not seeing the lessons, the wisdom, the learnings, the growth, right? And so this is turning around from there and seeing how far they've come through the challenges that they've already experienced and how much it empowers them for this next phase. What's the additional question today? Nine of Cups clarified by Nine of Wands to Nines. It's kind of end of a cycle, but not quite. And to me, it means that this phase, this eclipse time, is still gonna carry on and roll out in the physical, in 3D, till pretty much end of April. We're also in Mercury retrograde right now, which will slow down the integration, the communication, the application of the new energy, right? So essentially it extends this time, and hence we're in the nines right now. But the Nine of Cups, Nine of Wands, to me is like, okay, I have this desire, but I still have a fear that if I invest too much into it, I'm gonna have my heart broken. It's that kind of vibe. So what does it mean for feminines? What's the advice now? have the Hermit and the Moon. Beautiful, beautiful energy. Wow. Both of them have towers, by the way. There are two towers here. There is a tower here. Not normally seen in the Hermit deck, but it is here. So to me, it very much speaks into the moment of solitude and like reconciling your inner wisdom, right? Your feelings, deepest feelings and emotions, right? Diving deeper into this fear, into this concern, and transmuting it, working with it to remove the uncertainty, right? To bring more love into the situation, to exercise more love. But this is definitely the space that you need to create for yourself to be able to do that in a calm, quiet way, without rushing, without needing to show the results, right? This is like a personal process. What about the masculines? We have Page of Wands, clarified by King of Pentacles. Is the page that wants to be the king. There is desire, there is passion, right? There is thirst for learning and growth, right? But this seems like a picture that's somewhere far away, that's not really reachable right now. It's like, yeah, that would be nice to be here. How do I get from here to here quickly, right? And there is a fear that this may never happen for me, right? Maybe I see some clues, I see some guidance, but I have no idea how long it will get me to get here because it's not as apparent, right? And that's where faith is needed. That's where this thirst for knowledge will carry you through to the right information, to the right people, the right opportunities, divine masculines. And you need to follow that road meticulously, diligently. And yes, also working with your fear, doing the inner work if possible, to deal with that fear that if you don't see the finish line, that maybe it's not gonna happen for you ever, right? Like that needs to be pushed away now. It's a good vision to have in your mind. Where are you going? Why are you doing this? But it shouldn't be there every minute of every day and you obsessing that, oh my God, I'm never gonna get there. With this speed or with this circumstances or with this knowledge or whatever it is that you're feeling. How the feminine seeing the connection right now? Queen of Swords clarified by Hanged Man. Yeah, so there is, I love this Queen of Swords version where she's like looking out, like trying to see the bigger picture as much as possible. So she first got into this, I don't know if it's a balloon, a dirigible, wherever it is, and then she still wants to see more, right? So feminines are like, I'm definitely getting a new perspective on things, right? I see how I play my role and what I can do to help the connection, to facilitate things, right? Without pushing anything, without putting pressure on my DM or even getting them more into guilt and shame that they already do. And yes, they're already there, trust me. This is like, how do I help in a nurturing and loving way with the situation at hand, right? And this is looking for that new perspective, new vision and ways, right? Finding them, it's like, I'm almost there. It's like, I'm almost there kind of energy, but great intention. For masculines, we see the Chariot clarified by Ace of Swords. So masculines definitely want for this connection to move forward, but they want to make sure that it's moving forward in the loving and honest way, like that there isn't gonna be a redoing afterwards, you know, like when you tried something, oops, didn't work, or we fall out, maybe we'll make up again and we'll do something different, right? But you never know. With all these cycles going back and forth, with people trying to what's the expression, to, well, let's say to trick the game, right? Like to trick the system, right? To do something to seem better than they are, to try to get to a certain result faster, whatever it is. Can have good intentions, not so good, but whatever people do, right? Like they don't want to do it in this connection. Ideally, they don't want to get to a point where there will be another falling out, and again there will be fear of losing this person, losing this connection. So they're like, okay, next time we come together, remove this, it needs to be proper, it needs to be high quality communication, high quality interaction, and us working as a team. Not just like poking at it, trying something, oh, it didn't work, oh well. You know, like masculines have been doing a lot of times before in their karmic connections, or people have been doing with them, right? Like they don't want to do it this way, they want to do it properly. Also, it's so interesting how similar the color palette is here. But for me in general, the feeling I'm getting from these cards is that there is a bit of a slowing down, right? But it's not just because there's no more enthusiasm or motivation to go forward. Chariot is telling us about big motivation, right? And divine orchestration to move things forward. But it's almost like, yeah, it may not be as fast as the masculines would like, ideally, but they understand there is a meaning behind it. So at this point, they're going with the flow, they are following the rule book, they are rolling with it, you know, whichever way you want to interpret it for yourself. And they're trying to find these moments of truth that they maybe have been avoiding before. And that's the hard part. That's that part that's gonna need some integration, because when you're taking the blindfold off and you're starting to see things exactly as they are, without blaming somebody else, without thinking that, you know, you were unlucky or these people just don't get it, right? But actually seeing it for what it is. It's hard. It's heartbreaking. And it's painful, right? You're essentially looking your fears in the eye. And that takes courage, it takes energy, it takes time, right? And masculines will be challenged with it over and over again, so that they understand that it's not just a one-off thing, or it's not like they follow this on a specific day and they're done. They get the medal and they move on with their happy life. No, this is gonna take a while, and they need to get more into this mode by themselves, within themselves, where they feel okay with it, where they don't want to turn on fight or flight response when this kind of stimuli happen in their life, right? But they can actually face it, they can deal with it, ideally transmute it, but still feel good about themselves and continue with the path, continue with the journey. Okay, I hope this was useful for you guys. Thank you so much for joining me today. I love you all, and I'll be back with more readings very, very soon. Love you guys.